stepped into that one, huh? Yes, everyone hear me in the back? Testing the audio check, please. Thanks. And just for the record, there's nothing wrong with $300 GE master repeaters. I know I put a lot of them into service. They're great radios. And you know, I'll take an old vintage Mycore over a brand new, you know, Yaesu or whatever, anything. What is 44net? Good question, right? Can I have a show of hands who's heard of 44net before? Anyone? Oh, right over there, okay. Some common misconceptions, you know, Facebook for hams. An automated defense network run by Cyberdyne Systems. Heard that before? An auto patch in the UK, that's the country code over there. Something else, right? So, ARDC, Amateur Radio Digital Communications. So the A is for amateur, and you know, amateur radio's in our DNA. Every staff member at ARDC, every board member, our volunteers, we're all licensed amateur radio people. And over the years, the technology has evolved, right? You know, it started off with just analog and HF, and as technology evolved, you know, amateur radio's been keeping up. In fact, I would argue that a lot of the technology that we take for granted today is because of amateur radio, right? People getting involved in the hobby for experimentation, for their love of learning and electronics, and going out in the industry. In my former career as running engineering departments, some of the best engineers on my staff have been amateur radio operators. So 44net essentially is a block of Class A IPv4 addresses that have been designated for use by amateur radio organizations and operators, essentially amateur radio use cases. There's some exceptions that fall within the mission of ARDC, but it's the resource that's been lent for experimentation and use and so forth. And a lot of people may not be familiar with networking technology in general, but essentially what you can transport over the internet, you can do yourself using 44net. And this diagram right here shows kind of the overall internet usage, and a little speck over there, a tiny thing, is ham radio. That's the portion of a subset of the 12 million IP addresses that are currently available for use. So 44net started out as AMPRNet, Amateur Radio Packet Network, and that was, you know, kind of, I guess, the beginning of how digital communications were used with amateur radio. Today, there's a lot more uses that you can do with it. So essentially, it's a self-run system, a network that is mostly administered by amateur radio operators. The allocation, as Rosie explained, was set forth in 1981 as a worldwide resource. And what we're doing today is trying to expand some of the usages for it, trying to make it easier for users to use. So the ARDC's responsibility mainly is to assign the IP addresses, vet them, to make sure that they're utilized for the purposes stated, and then it's really up to the individual user organization to figure out what they want to do with it and to set up the networking things in the background. Licenses are free to use, and ARDC does not provide network services, meaning it's not like a standard ISP where you just call up and everything is kind of automatic. It's something you can experiment with and build yourself and set up. and the licensees responsible for doing that. These are some of the interesting use cases that we have today. HamNet, high-speed amateur radio in Germany and the Netherlands. The Internet Radio Linking Project offers VPNs using the 44net in the background. There's some MCOM use cases. Some users are doing IoT things similar to what you might see with LoRaWAN. There's IP mesh of various types of communication systems, repeater infrastructure, email, SDR, and others not shown here. Basically, anything you could send over the internet, you can send over 44net technology. At a very high level, what it does is it encapsulates the data that you're transporting between various endpoints within a closed network. Similar if you were going to set up an enterprise system between campuses and you wanted to communicate with each other, it works somewhat the same way. How it's accessed is that there's a portal that ARDC runs that is used to configure DNS, set up tunnels between IP mesh for legacy systems. There's also a lot of VPN connections that are being used right now. And then some users actually want to connect not just within the 44net network, but also over the internet. And for that, the internet requires a way for systems to find it. So, it's possible to set it up with border gateway protocol advertising to autonomous systems, and there's various ways that users have done that. Virtual privacy services that are cloud-based or some other methods. This is an example of something that uses 44net. This is the Gerbandy Tower in the Netherlands. It's 372-meter structure on a 22-foot base, and this is actually in the Netherlands. It's a flat terrain, so this is actually a TV broadcast facility. And the amateur radio group over there has been able to get some space in there and put up VHF, UHF repeater equipment. And they use 44net in their use case to connect IP cameras through the HamNet system. One interesting thing they do here is, I don't know if you can see, looks like guy wires right there. They string those up with some custom-made LEDs at Christmas and then have this big light show for everybody. It's really awesome. There's a YouTube that comes out. Quite interesting. This is courtesy of Rob Jensen, PU1CHL, who's also a member of our technical advisory committee. And the technical advisory committee is a group of volunteers that advises the staff at ARDC and the board members on policies and architecture for evolving the 44net group. And there's, I don't think we have that slide in there, but there's 10 TAC members in there, and they're all amateur radio people, but some of them are very high-level network engineers and architects in industry, and they bring a lot of wealth of knowledge to 44net. So the Technical Advisory Committee this year is looking into 5 key initiatives for improving the system. It's trying to catch up with the times a little bit. One of the things that was done last year was a comprehensive survey, user survey assessment that's available now at the ARDC.net website. But looking at how the 44net is currently used, what some of the challenges are, and things that we can do to make it easier. So the Technical Advisory Committee, along with the subcommittees that they chair, are looking into cataloging and reviewing the dominant use cases as well. If anyone's interested in more information about 44net in general, how it works, the survey I mentioned is available on our website. That's the link right there. With the focus groups and communities. We also have a newsletter, as well as a 44net mailing list. And the mailing list is useful for users to help each other as they're going through some learning pains or trying something new.